Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of the Quarantine Sessions, where I chat to people a lot cooler than myself in the wonderful land of lockdown. Now, my guest this week is the latest band to come from arguably the hotspot of modern British rock music. With their debut EP dropping very soon, they're destined to take the scene by storm. It is my pleasure to introduce arguably the most handsomest band performing today, ManDown.
Hi.
Thank you. Not true, but thank you for that anyway.
I speak no lie. I speak no lie. Well, how are you guys doing in these strange times that we live in?
Yeah, not too bad. I just went back to work this week, so I'm after my 10 weeks at home, so been a bit of adjustment. So yeah, it's all been a bit strange, but
it certainly has. It certainly has. What about you, Lawrence?
Well, I don't know, really. The time has flown by. All the things I wrote down on a list at the very beginning of this time, thinking, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write this song. I'm going to finish that riff. I haven't done any of that, but I have chilled out. Apart from working, throughout the daytime, I've done barely anything. It's fantastic. Apart from planning for this release, obviously.
Well, that's it. I mean, the time has just flown by. It's insane how doing nothing just makes time just become a non-factor. I have no idea what day of the week it is, so it's a good time. It's a good time, I think. Anyway, for the unfortunate few that may not have heard of you before, in your own words, would you mind just quickly introducing yourself and ManDown?
Do you want to do that, Ian? Over to you.
Okay. Well, we've been described as a sort of post-hardcore band. I mean, I used to think of us as like a melodic riff band. Sort of sharp songs. Lots of riffs, lots of drums, and some singing.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's the makings of a great band. And obviously, we're all friends here. And in the effort of just getting to know each other a little bit better, I have to ask the hard-hitting questions right at the top of the show. And that is, if you were a type of sandwich, what type of sandwich would you be?
Do you want to go first, Lawrence?
Bacon sandwich.
Bacon sandwich. Classic.
Bacon sandwich with with some cheese in there, a little bit of sprinkling of cheese and some hot sauce, probably Encona, something like that. Just a little slither of that on top with the bacon.
I can dig it. What about you, Ian?
Well, actually, interesting enough, my job in the real world, I actually run a sandwich shop. So
wow, we have an expert.
Yeah, so I don't know. I probably the sandwich I have most of the time. I mean, obviously I have a lot of choice there, but one I have a lot of time is probably cheese, ham, salad, mustard, salad cream. But obviously in the sandwich shop, I've got a choice of all the stuff at the end of the day. So it's whatever you like in there, really. I've experimented quite a lot with different things, and some things work, some things don't. So, yeah.
Hold on. You're with all the stuff that you have available to you, you go for cheese, ham, and salad.
Well, yeah, because sometimes I have to I mean, I do have some other stuff, but usually there's more of the cheese and ham left over, and I try and save the actual fillings for people that want to buy them. You see, because they're a bit more expensive to buy. You see.
That's very thoughtful of you and your sandwich eating community.
Yeah, I mean, I do sometimes have some other bits and pieces. We got quite a variety of different stuff, but that's the one I probably have most frequently, probably because it's the one that I can have more frequently.
Lunch bunch in Fleet, right by the train station, in between the train station and the petrol station. There we go. Free advertising.
There you go. Free advertising right here. And I have to ask, completely off topic, what's the weirdest order you've had for someone for a custom sandwich?
Oh, okay. Let me think about that one. I should really know this. I mean, it's not kind of the weirdest thing, but I have had someone come in before and they wanted bacon, but they wanted more salt on the bacon, and I was like, you don't need any more. So obviously, you give the customer what they asked for, but you do not need more salt on bacon. And it was a lot of salt as well. It's like of anything in a sandwich, you do not need any more salt on a bacon sandwich.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, I mean,
I think that this is a contender for a potential leaderboard, either both for Upside Down Shark and for the shop as well, to have like the weirdest sandwich. You could have it in your shop, Ian.
That's a collaboration I want to be a part of.
maybe it could, that the name of it could be the Upside Down Shark.
I would be honored. I would be honored if there was a sandwich called the Upside Down Shark. I will have to think about what that might entail, but it's got to be something seafood. But I'll get back to you. I'll email you. But in more pressing matters, at the time of recording, your debut EP, We Want Blood, is about a month or so away, dropping July 9th. What can people expect from this release?
It's 11 minutes 20 long, and I've never tried to fit 11 minutes 20, 4 songs into 11 minutes 20 and make it work. By the time you put it on, it'll be off, and then you'll be putting it on again, and then you'll be putting it on again, and then you'll be putting it on again. I'm expecting people to be excited about this, and I'm expecting people to send me messages saying that record is absolutely killer, and I've listened to it 15 times today. That's my expectations.
Well, the first track that you've released, I can say you're well on the way to doing that. And obviously, the team behind this, other than just the two of you, is pretty star-studded, because obviously, it was produced by Chris Coulter, but you had input from the man of the hour, Jamie Lenman, as well. What was it like working with an icon like him?
Oh, I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. Jamie's really good fun to work with, and I really like Jamie. We've known each other for so many years now. It was in all different capacities, either just kicking around in the same area, same venues. I did a bit of roadieing for him as well, and drum teching. And then one day, well, if Ian doesn't mind me telling the story, one day he just sort of came into our practice room, didn't he? He just sort of walked in. He heard us practicing through the wall, and he sat down and he said, "Oh, go on, show us what you got." So then Ian and I, a little bit of squeaky bum time. Oh goodness! And I've known him for years, so it shouldn't have been like we shouldn't have been so not embarrassed, but so apprehensive. And he said, "God, I really, really like that. We're going to work together." And so that's sort of how it happened. And him and I had been talking about Chris Coulter previously. And he knew about the ManDown band, and I was roadieing with Jamie, and we were in the car together, very rock and roll tour bus, i.e. in my car, going up to a gig. And he said, "You should do your record with Chris." And I'd worked with Chris a couple of times in the past. And I said, "Well, I'm going to put you two together then, if that's what's going to happen. Like, you're going to work together." And then Jamie got quite excited about that. You have to be, I think, for both of us, Ian and I have worked on lots of projects in the past, but where we've had a lot of, not necessarily our own control, but no third eye, no sort of cold eyes or third party coming in to have a constructive look on it. And Ian and I had already worked we'd had quite aggressive cuts on the songs to get them down to a certain length and make them, we'd been through the demo process and everything. And then Jamie came in and said, "Yeah, great, right, make that bit shorter, change that drum beat, change this, change that." And it sounds like he had a complete, wipe over it, but actually he just did what sort of you'd expect from pre-production, really, and using his objective opinion to say, that sounds good, and now it's going to sound killer. And there was nothing, we didn't disagree on anything with him, I don't think, did we, Ian? Was there anything that we told him we didn't like?
No, I think Jamie, with his stuff he does, he's got a very clear vision of everything. I think when he does his own stuff, he's got his music, he's got the imagery, he's got like the sort of how he's going to look and everything like that. And I think it was completely valuable for us to do that. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's so short. Actually, is just we're trimming all the fat off, really. But at the time, you've got to really kind of like take that on board and really listen to what he's saying. I think. Sorry, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there. So.
No, it's fine.
I think the point you're trying to make is you can get kind of attached to songs because you spend a lot of time in rooms playing them. We record every practice, take it home, do analysis and stuff, but then you sort of get lost in the noise of your own noise. And when someone comes along and says, "Yeah, that's great, but don't play it 4 times around, play it once," you go, "Yeah, but I really like that bit. It's like tough. It's for the benefit of the song." Yeah, you're right. It really is. And I've forgotten what they even used to sound like. If we go back and listen, you would hear all the hooks and the key components. They're just it's like taking all the ingredients and they're all in the spice rack, but it's not always a good recipe. And so it's just working out when to do a gentle sprinkling or something. So for us, it was a really pleasurable experience. Well, I hope he enjoyed it. I haven't really asked him that. Maybe I'll drop him an email later asking him, did you enjoy it? Because he kept asking us if we were enjoying the process. And so, yeah. It was
what
good.
if he replies now? I think I was better before.
I won't bother sending him a copy then.
But no, I know exactly what you mean, because whenever you're writing anything in any sort of medium, I think the phrase they call it is killing your darlings. And it's sort of this idea that you have to sort of, as much as you may personally love something, you have to sort of sacrifice it if it doesn't sort of contribute to sort of the greater good of the body of the work. And it's such a hard thing to do. From personal experience, it can be traumatic having to sort of strip away things that you're, in your own head and your own sort of vision don't seem to fit, but perhaps in the grand scheme of things don't. But as I say, from the first track, I cannot wait for this release personally, just to sort of take an editorial. I'm really, really looking forward to it. But as I sort of said at the start of the interview, you're based in Farnborough, which has for sort of, since the early 2000s, late 90s, has been this hotbed of absolutely fantastic bands that have, become icons within sort of the British rock scene. What was it like coming up in this scene for the past sort of, however many years?
Well, I mean, I think, it was a long time, probably 20 years ago now, but I mean, as someone who is always interested in getting into bands, I didn't really get so much into bands as in playing until I got a bit older, but it's quite inspirational to sort of see these people that you know, and then suddenly you see them and they're like, they're on Top of the Pops or they're on MTV2 or whatever. It was just for some reason around that time, all through the West End Centre, actually, in Aldershot. That's the place that I first started going when I was 17 and watching bands every weekend and throwing myself around and having drinks and stuff like that. And I don't know if that sort of happens so much now. Like it's, kids seem to be more interested in getting a laptop out and making some trap music, from my experience that I've seen anyway. But
well, that's it. I mean, well, as long as there's bands like yourself that are flying the flag of what it should be like, then I think there is hope. There is definitely hope. But I guess speaking of sort of, the future for sort of, everything and yourselves personally, is there anything specifically that you would say is at the top of your band bucket list to achieve as ManDown?
I think we could do with one gig first.
That'd be, yeah.
So that's a really interesting point at the moment, and we've just been, we've been talking as this release has been coming up about like what comes next to make sure that we don't get sort of caught on the back foot, realizing that we haven't taken stock of where we want to go. I mean, before we planned the release now, especially during lockdown, actually we were talking about how we got the timing right with this release because we felt so passionately about it. How could we get the right tour on the go, get the right merch on the go, and get the right everything? And then I came back from doing some work abroad, and I came back and I was like, do you know what? This whole pandemic is just going to screw up everything for so long. I dropped a little message to Iain saying, right, I think we should just release this thing. We've got to get it out there. I can't wait anymore. I'm sort of bursting with excitement. So for us, it's like, right, this is now coming. What comes next? We'll be planning ultimately, hopefully some shows at the end of this year so that we can really get out there and make some noise. It's quite easy for two-piece. We can just get in the back of the car and off we go. We're hoping that venues will open up, and we've been taking some advice on that as to whether venues will be ready for us. I don't mean it like that, but as in like ready for reopening in general for live music. Yeah. And will there be a desire? Will people even want to, or will there be a little bit? Will people be a little bit reserved? We don't, you just don't know. But we want to do that at the end of this, by the end of this year, get out there touring. Very early next year, get a single out. So I'm putting some pressure on us to be ready for a single. Probably do that with Chris Coulter, though I haven't even messaged him yet, but I'll do that with Chris Coulter likely. And hopefully Jamie, if he wants to be involved as well. I haven't talked to him about it either. And then that would be with a view to getting ourselves set up for the summer season next year, because we do hope that some festivals come back, because whilst we see that maybe like sweaty music in a small venue is not so desired by a younger generation as much as it used to be. It goes in waves, I think, personally, and Ian's point's very valid. But the last few times I've been to festivals or played festivals or done some teching or whatever, actually the young audience is more prevalent than ever. And as the country becomes ever more affluent, it would have been a rarity when I was 14 or 15 for people to go to a music festival. Even 16, 17, you know, there would have been maybe one in 5 maybe would go.
Yeah.
And I went to a festival, you know, when I was very young. Went to several festivals, but now I think there's much more. It's become much more like rather than going on holiday and taking your friend on holiday with you, like, no, parents, we're not interested in you anymore. Like, actually, we'd rather go to a festival, and you're going to buy me a tent and a this and a that and a blah blah blah. And so and also there's, maybe not after a pandemic, but in general there's a bit more money to support those things in the country than there might have been in the 90s after the big crunch in the 80s or whatever it was, late 80s, early 90s. So if you can tap into that kind of market where you can find the excitement, then that's great. Anyway, hopefully there's a summer season 2021, and then if we can do the summer season, then we'll see what we can do to commit to a full-blown release at the Q3 Q4 2021. Get a full album out there, a full new album.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
We cut 12 songs down to 11 minutes 20 for this release. So Ian's got his work cut out writing now. What would that be then? That would be 36 songs, Ian, down to 12. How about that?
I've probably got about 23 so far.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Just go for the concept double disc feature length album of just 40 tracks. just do the whole shebang.
I love that. Imagine the vinyl. I mean,
it'd be beautiful. Get Jamie to do the artwork.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've done all the artwork on this one, so why not?
There you go. Well, here at UDS, we don't just talk about music. We talk about the breadth of pop culture. We talk about movies, video games, TV, comic books, everything and more. So with that in mind, if you could have a ManDown song featured in anything at all, what would it be?
Ooh.
What's your favorite movie franchise, Ian?
Do you know what? I've just been recently just watching Ash versus Evil Dead.
Great show.
And that would be pretty cool. I know it's unfortunate it's finished now, but that would be a pretty cool thing to have in there. I think it would fit. It's one of those songs that fit nicely into there. Maybe that. What about you, Lawrence? What do you think?
Oh goodness, I don't know. I mean, I think all of the songs could be quite applicable in a lot of stuff. I'd almost put rather the other way around. Someone that was writing something and they felt compelled to use our music for it because they felt it fitted so well. But then that's maybe the cliche musician's answer rather than the geeky TV answer. Do you know what? I watch so much TV now, and especially in lockdown, been watching so much. None of it's sinking in. It's just there now. It's almost like some noise to fill an evening, to help a routine be a routine for the sake of a routine. Yeah. I really wish it was picking up all the guitars and the drums and stuff I've got in this room, but sometimes you just need that kind of switch off. And
absolutely.
Don't know, what would I love to hear it on? Are they making another Matrix?
They are, apparently.
I think they are. Yeah, I think they're doing another one. Yeah.
Something about that, or something about tearing down American politicians off of their pedestals. I think we would bloody be pretty good for that. In fact, we might as well just use it on the international news right now.
Yeah, that's it. Anonymous, hack it and make it happen.
If enough people heard it, we wouldn't need to hack it. It would just happen. It would just be on the BBC all of a sudden or whatever.
That's it. There you go. Well, speaking of BBC, this is a segment that I have completely plagiarized off them. It is called Desert Island Discs. And obviously the concept is old news now, but you have got one album, one movie, and one luxury item that you can take with you onto your own individual desert island. What would they be?
I think Ian's going to have to start that because he's more committed to his favourite records, I think.
The record is always the hardest one.
I do, but I have a few, but that's very hard. Like I love music and I love films, but cutting them down to just one is very difficult. I think I could cut them down to, like, if you had 5, I think I could probably make it easy. One record, one film.
I was asked this the other day, and I still can't answer it as well. That's the problem.
I think my luxury item, it's a bit cliche, would probably be my guitar, because I don't think I could go without my guitar.
Absolutely.
whether it's acoustic or electric, just and without an amplifier. That would be that. In terms of the films, oh man,
Does a box set count for films?
We've had this before. Yes.
You could take a box set.
I would say so.
A long storyline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
That doesn't help me, actually. That makes it harder.
There's a few films that I think I could. Maybe The Greasy Strangler. Have you seen that film?
I have. Yeah.
Did you like that film?
It's disturbing, but I enjoyed it. I
do like film, or maybe even The Room, or
Troll 2.
Troll 2, possibly one of those three. One of those three. I know they're all equally bad, but I think I could watch those films over and over again. I think
you're a fan of the films that are so bad they're good.
Yeah, sure. Samurai Cop was a good one you should check out as well.
I have not seen Samurai Cop, but the title alone, I definitely
if you like The Room and those other ones, Samurai Cop is one to check out.
I'll check that out.
How can we watch Samurai Cop, Ian? Is it on any of the streaming services, or do we have to go to the archives of Amazon's second-hand store?
My copy I've got, I think I had to import, but you can probably get it.
Japanese import.
My copy of The Room, when I bought it, I paid £25 for it and imported it a few years back. But you can get that much more easily now, I think. But
I got mine from Tommy Wiseau at the screening of The Room, so.
Oh wow, yeah! I got the t-shirt. I got upstairs in my spare room. I got him to sign that giant poster of his face. So that's up there. Apparently, you could buy the script as well from them. I got that.
I got that over there. I got him to sign that as well. It's just I can't even face reading it because it's just like reading the dialogue in the film. He made them read it word for word, and it's atrocious. It's truly atrocious. But albums seems to be the hard thing, as it always is.
Well, I'll give you the three then. So whilst Ian's been thinking, I've been writing them down. So I'll do some cliche here. So the record will be Rage Against the Machine, Rage Against the Machine. The films will be the Back to the Future trilogy.
Fantastic.
And the luxury item will be Punk IPA cans, unlimited supply.
Very good.
And I'll be all right on the island. Then.
That's it. I mean, Back to the Future, I maintain. I wouldn't say any of them are individually my favorite film, but as a trilogy, I think it is the most perfect trilogy of films ever. Just flawless from start to finish.
Have you seen they've been doing Josh Gad?
Yes.
Have you seen they've got the interviews done with the cast on that one? Have you seen that one recently?
No, I haven't seen that.
He's done one. He did one for the Goonies. He did one for Back to the Future. He did one for Lord of the Rings, which my wife and I watched the other day, which is very good. So yeah, if you check that out, that'd be interesting. It's got Mark J. Fox from there, Christopher Lloyd, and some of the cast. So if you enjoy those films, just check that out because they sort of talk about the film and stuff. So
very cool, very cool.
In terms of my record,
you got to pick one, Ian.
Do you know what? It sounds a bit. Don't want to sound too sycophantic, but probably Race Car Backwards. I absolutely love that record. I really do.
It's a fantastic album.
Yeah, I love that one as well, but that one especially. I don't know, or maybe Glassjaw, Worsham Tribute. That's an amazing album as well.
Certainly is. There are apparently rumours that they might do a UK tour next year, which doing. What's the album? Their debut album. Names escapes me.
Anything you want to know about Silence or Silence?
Yes. There's talk of doing an anniversary show of that album in full, which would be pretty rad. Siberian Kiss was always my.
Who's their booking agent?
I'll get him on the phone now.
That's our 2121 tour sorted.
There you go. You heard it here first. But here at UDS, we also like to advocate positivity, particularly in times like this. And one of the ways I like to do that is through inspirational quotes. And one of my favorites is, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Because it works with basically anything in your life, food or otherwise, it's still relevant. Don't ask any further questions, please. But with that in mind, what would be your inspirational quote to share with the world?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I wish I'd known in advance. I say loads of great stuff. I come out with loads of rubbish all the time.
I'm sorry. It's only the hardest hitting questions here, as I warned you.
Of course.
What about in keeping in theme with my attire? What does Tommy say? Love. What is it? Love.
If a lot of people loved each other, the world would be a better place.
There you go. That's my one. That's my answer.
There you go. From the Wizzo himself. What about you, Lawrence?
Oh goodness, I don't know. Too much to put me on the spot. Don't do as I do, do as I say. I think it's something that is a very common theme. It runs through my whole life, my whole work, and the band.
There you go. There you go.
Not very inspirational, more repressive, but bothered.
more practical. But anyway, none of us can plan for the rest of 2020 with the way that the world is now. And you've sort of given a few inklings of what might be in store for you sort of in the short to mid-term future. But what does the rest of 2020 as sort of in a collective have in store for ManDown?
Well, we've got to get back in the practice rooms first.
So That's
it's
important.
been a while since we've had the luxury of being able to even see each other in person. So for us, we've got to find a way of socially distancing, practicing, and getting ready for whatever we can get happening next, touring or whatever it might be. So watch this space. We do hope for end of the year tour, maybe a Christmas show, maybe a January single. And a lot of practice in between, a lot of writing in between. Ian's got to write 36 songs so we can turn that. That's the plan.
There you go. Well, this is pretty much near the end of the interview. So we always end with one question, and that is, we are UDS, or Upside Down Shark. Don't ask me why we're Upside Down Shark. It's just a name that we had to go with. And it's just, we're in too deep to change it now. But with that in mind, what would be your favorite shark? And it could be real, it can be fictional, it could be something from a movie or something from real life. But what would be your favorite shark?
Sharknado.
There you go, straight out of the gate. Absolutely fantastic choice.
I'd like Goldie Shark, one that's just got loads of gold teeth every time it comes at the bite. Just loads of gold fangs.
Oh, that was better than mine. Well done.
They're both equally fantastic. And that is basically all I've got. So what's left to ask is, where can people find you online? Facebook.com/ManDownFB, Instagram.com/ManDownInsta, Twitter.com/ManDownTwit, Bandcamp.com. You might need to start that the other way around. It might need to be ManDown Band at Bandcamp.com, I think. I don't know. Google we'll put a link in the description below so everyone can find it there.
That'll do. I'll send you the links for the description.
There you go. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you ever so much for having us.
It's our first interview, so thank you very much.
Oh, really?
That.
Oh, I am truly honoured. I'm truly honoured. I hope the bar has not been set too low. But anyway, thank you so much for watching at home. Make sure to pick up We Want Blood out July 9th. As I say, we'll put a link to everything you need to know in the description below. Hit subscribe for more interviews with all sorts of creative folk like Jamie Lenman and others. And we shall catch you next time.